hello. Thanks for clicking on our faces. We are back again, another week, another Superman and Lois discussion. Now, this is episode 4 of season 4. Again, this is the final season of Superman and Lois. And a lot happened this episode. But as always, and did I not come prepared? There's a little bit of news here, guys.
Whoa!
Yeah, we got 2 bits of news. And as always, as I upload them, I'm going to give you an option to select which one you want to talk about first. Now, again, as always, both are superhero related. Well, for the most part, we try to do superhero related stuff. And both are Marvel properties, but one's a little bit of good news and one's a little bit of bad news. So you guys let me know, do you want to hear the good news first or the bad news first?
Honestly, personally for me, I'm always let's start with the bad news, because at least we can end up with a joy with the good news. So why don't we, if you're with it one, Vic, I'm for the bad news.
Fuck it. Give me the bad news and then give me the good news. All
right. So let's get into the bad news this evening. It was just announced today that unfortunately Marvel removed Blade from the 2025 release schedule. So it is no longer coming out in 2025. And this is after many pushbacks and delays. So this is just a snippet from Variety. So thanks Variety for this clip. It says Disney's removed the Marvel reboot of Blade, starring Mahershala Ali as the titular half vampire from the release calendar. It was dated for November 7th, 2025. Disney will instead release Predator: Badlands, the 6th film in the Otherworldly franchise, on the early November release date that was held by Blade. Meanwhile, Marvel added 3 untitled projects to the schedule for February. So long story short, pushed back yet again. And this seems like this film is cursed. I don't know. They've been trying to get this out for a while now. What do you guys think about this news?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. If I can just throw out real quick, I remember when they mentioned Blade. I want to say this was 2019. I was at a wrestling event, and I remember because wrestling and nerdom all mixed together.
Yeah.
And someone was mentioning that, and I was like, man, that was 2019. So when you're talking about there's been pushback, and I don't know how many pushbacks there's been, but all I'm saying is I've been hearing about this Blade show for such a long time that I just don't think we're ever going to get it. In fact, I know we're talking about the CW here. We're going to talk about Superman and Lois, but I watched the this current episode of Superman and Lois by the CW app. All I'm saying is I had no idea that they had Blade. I don't know if you knew this, but I saw Blade and I said, "Oh snap! This came out before."
Wait, are you talking about they had Blade on what? On the CW?
Mm-hmm.
On the app? The movie?
Not the movie. I don't know what this is. If someone could correct me on it, please do. But all I know is they have Blade on the CW, and they even said vampires. So it has to be about the Blade that we're talking about.
Is this like that old series that didn't kick off, like the old one? That's interesting. Let us know in the chat. It looks like we got a couple of you guys in here so far. Thanks for being here. Let's get into some of these comments before we get into the next bit of news. All right, King. Hi, thanks for being here. They wrong for that, but projects always get that project always has some bad juju, right? I don't know what's going on with it. Hey, Mike. It's been damn near 10 years. Let it go. It's sad, but I knew it was coming. Wow.
It's been like damn near 10 years, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been forever.
He got a point though, because honestly, it's been a long time since that movie came out.
Yeah, apparently they had the property since 2013, and they didn't announce it or officially try to put it together until 2019. But we got MDB 999 Blade movie is the Odyssey Jones of the MCU. All right, Mike. Oh, it came out on Spike TV, Sticky Fingers.
So this is old. Okay.
So that explains it.
I had no idea about it. This was the first time I saw it, and because right after Superman ended, you know how they give you choices to what's the next show can be. And anyway, I saw that it was Blade. I didn't watch it, but anyway, I was like, oh, that's Blade. That has to be Marvel.
Blade we about to be getting, so you better watch it because we ain't getting no Blade no time soon.
Listen, not for nothing. If you watch, and this is a spoiler from the Deadpool Wolverine movie,
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, I forget the original actor who I'm so
Wesley
sorry.
Snipes. And I know what you.
Wesley Snipes, he said there's always going to be one blade.
It's only going to be one.
That might have been a real thing that he said.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said. I was as soon as I saw Deadpool and Wolverine, and I heard that in the theater. I texted my friend Quentin like, "Oh my God, that part! What do you think he means by that?" He was like, "Maybe it's just a line, you know." Because and I'm thinking, hold on, they trying to tell us something without telling us something. That's what it was. But let's get into the second bit of news. The good news is that Daredevil Born Again is set to release March 4th of 2025. So we have a release date. It's going to be in March and it's going to be in 2025. So we lose Blade, but we gain Daredevil. So, there's a bit of an exchange here. What do you guys think about it?
I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm here for it. I'm excited to see Daredevil again. I mean, honestly, I'm just more excited to see Kingpin.
That's my boo. I can't wait to see William Fitz now. That's the daddy of the show. I've been said it for a minute now.
I always loved with Wilson Fisk. There was that one episode in season 1 where he had a terrible nightmare, and to calm his nightmare, he made omelets. Like I always thought that was a great way to calm down things. I've been trying to utilize that as much. It doesn't work for me as much as it worked for Fisk. But I'm very excited about this. I mean, the Daredevil on the Netflix series 1 through season
I think it's 3.
1 through 3 was fantastic. I thought it was great. And some of the stuff that I saw on the trailer makes me go like, I'm excited to see where this show goes. Because one of my fears was that they would Disneyfy it. And the stuff that I saw, that it's not so much of that. I feel like it's not as gritty as the Netflix series, but close enough. And I'm for that.
All right. So we have something to look forward to this coming year.
No,
but
he didn't die.
Let's. What you said?
No, we have in the chat that they said did Kingpin die in the Echo series? No, he didn't die.
Well, let's highlight it here. What we got here? We got Brian. Hey, thanks for being here. 3 movies and a TV series. That what would they do? They've done Werewolf by Night, so perhaps Dracula with Blade, more like he's in the comics. You know what? I've heard this because I'm not a comic book reader. I'm a TV watcher. I'm a movie watcher, right? But I've heard that Blade kind of teams up with, I think it's what's his name? Morphin Time? Morpheus? It's Morphin Time. Let me know if I'm right about that in the chat. But there's
so upset at that.
So if we do get a Blade, we might also get the return of Jared Leto's Morpheus. So there's D999. Didn't Kingpin die in Echo series? No, he got all kinds of shot and beat up, but the man is impenetrable. Basically, I don't know if he's a mutant or what, but he is definitely unkillable. It seems. So me, 2 reviews. Hey, thanks for being here. 9 episodes. Morbius. There we go. Morbius. Thank you. All right, but let's get into Superman and Lois episode 4 because we got quite a bit to talk about. Even though honestly, this episode felt more like a filler episode to me. I don't know how you guys felt about it. Yeah, and that upsets me because we only get like 9, maybe 10 episodes this season. So I'm like, can we fill it with as much as we need to fill it with before we do all of that? But it opens up. I'm not even going to give this like any kind of segue because they didn't give it a segue. Superman is back. He was gone for a day, back the next. The family is happy. This is the first time that I noticed that the twins are actually dressed like twins. If you check it out, they got the same shirt, same jacket on, and they're hugging Clark because he is, of course, alive. But he's not 100%. He comes back with the heart of the father, R.I.P. But he has a scar from where the incision, I assume where they put the heart in, which is odd for Superman.
I can throw out here. I'm sorry, I had to throw up my bad guy joke out here. That's the scar that I have when I listen to Nick Cannon CD. So I just wanted to throw out.
A scar in your heart.
Yes, that's how my scar looks.
But yeah, it's like completely. I don't know as far as like what happens in the comics, right? But him having like scars and like wounds and unhealable wounds, that seems a little odd to me. But that's what's going on in the episode. We do see that Chrissy and Kyle, they're back again. I thought we got rid of them, but no, they're still here. They have announced that they're back.
What are you talking about, girl?
I don't like either one of these two. I've made this clear
How
for.
do you not like? So you don't like Chris Heineken?
I don't like Kyle. Dead,
Kyle Heineken?
dead Kyle, and I don't like Chrissy.
You know what? I did want to touch on something that you said earlier in this review here. This episode, you said it was filler, and I can see what you mean by that. To me, this was an episode. It was supposed to be a feel-good episode. The past 3 episodes that we have gotten out of Superman and Lois have been pretty dark. And even something that Lois says later on, I don't want to jump too far ahead because you was mentioning Chrissy, but Chrissy says over the lines of like, you know, could you be my not best woman? What do you call him? Maid of honor? And she was like, yeah, I have no problem doing that because you know I need joy, I need all these things, and I think this episode was meant to be a feel good. I don't know if it accomplished that, but I did want to also mention when you was talking about Superman returning, when he landed, I could sit there and say off rip, I was not a fan of it. I was like, because you want this season to feel like, man, what is this world going to be like without Superman? And I feel like, as much as I felt that in the beginning, there was a moment where things changed because we're going to talk about his heart condition and all that stuff and how he's not the same. So I just wanted to touch on that because even when you mentioned that too about his scars, I mean, how often do anything with Superman for all of us? How often do we say something where we're worried about him getting scarred or hurt or anything like that? It's not often.
They took it there in this show, but shout out to the chat. We got 16 of you guys in here so far. Thank you for being here. Please like the video and let us know what you think about the episode in the chat. But yeah, so Chrissy and Kyle, they're getting married. They have, you know, they're planning on having a little justice of the peace situation. And yeah, it all seems very fast. But you know, here we go on to the next scene. We got Superman.
Oh no.
This is his official, like, you know, Rocky Balboa moment. He's training with, you know, trying to get all the powers together. You know?
Don't do that. Don't do that. No,
it was the training montage.
No, it's far from it because Rocky wouldn't be crashing through snow. Like, how? No, absolutely not. I'm gonna have to cut you off with that. No.
He was training, and he needed very little of it because they took him out to like Antarctica or whatever, where he took Jordan previously, and Jonathan just took to it like a fish in water, and they were flying, you know, hand in hand, side by side, father and son, looking great. And I was surprised CGI they used in this episode. It looked pretty good, you know, in motion, and I really thought that they were going to save, like, you know, the big stuff like the flying with the dad into like maybe the final episode, but they did a lot here, flying with Clark and just flying in general through the snow. So shout out to the CW for getting it done.
Facts.
But let's get back into. Go ahead.
I want to say they figured like this is their last season. Let's go all out. So because I didn't think anything. I love that you mentioned that because I think there's always this trope with the CW, right? You know, like, oh, look at the CW. I'm going to say graphics because that's the word that hits in my head. But I thought it looked cool. I thought it was fantastic.
I did too. But let's get into some of this chat here. We got Mike Knox. Never got through it all. It was slow. Although I love my girlfriend from True Blood that was on the show, but I hear all great things. You must be talking about that Blade show. I hope it's good. You know, we gotta have something out here. Brian, I agree, but every episode, the camera work keeps wowing me. Oh yeah, I'm telling you, they doing the thing this season when it comes to Superman and Lois. Mike Knox, but they're killing the character of Superman this way. CW always treats Superman like S. Shake my head. So I completely agree sometimes, but in other times I acknowledge that Superman is so OP. Like you got to do some things to create a story, even though he's my favorite superhero because he's so OP. But I can see how that makes it harder with storytelling. So you got to like do some other type things. My baby girl don't like her either. Wait, who? Oh, Chrissy. Okay, good. I'm glad we on the same page because I cannot stand Chrissy. I cannot stand her or Kyle.
Wow. They guys like share the same name?
King Clark needs to retire. Second chance at living normal. That was my thing as I was watching him return, right? I was thinking, okay, well, this is their chance to live a normal life. Low key, everybody thinks Superman's dead. He no longer has to miss out on things. He no longer has to respond to every issue because he has an out. He's supposed to be dead. He can retire and live his life. But that, we'll talk about it in the rest of the episode. But it doesn't seem like that's the way he's going. But shout out to the chat. We got 21 of you guys in here so far. Thanks for being here. And please like the video if you like the video. But after we see Chrissy, they already say, all right, we're getting married. We'll tie the knots, right? We get Chrissy and Lois at the Gazette, right? They're trying to find Lex's like henchmen / henchwomen to get them to turn, and give them information on what's going on with Lex. And this is when I start to wonder, why is this basically retired journalist, right? She retired from the Daily Planet. Why is she doing all the investigation? Why is she doing all the stuff that the FBI and the DOD and everybody else need to be doing? Like, I don't understand. It's Lois
Planet
and her assistant.
It's small potatoes. It's make it feel like a local newspaper, like a high school newspaper.
What budget? What kind of like maybe Lois? Okay, she's an investigative journalist. Okay, I get it, but still, you need some actual like the law behind you. You need some force behind you. This seems like something more for the FBI or the CIA or something than it would be for small town newspaper.
But I feel like it has something to do with Lois. Like Lois is. Because I hear all that and I hear you, but Lois is someone who's always going to be like, I'm trying to see if I can find the words there, but Lois is always going to be like, and not necessarily she's above like the law and everything, but she's going to be going out her way to be like, I got to get the scoop and all that stuff.
She probably thinks she was because, her daddy's in the head of the DOD, Superman's her man. Like, but daddy's gone, right? Daddy's gone, as is.
Lois always been like that, though. Honestly, Lois, like any depiction of you look at anything but Lois. Now, granted, this makes it different because, like how you mentioned, the father's not here and who her man is and all that stuff. But even before all that stuff, Lois always been someone who's like, I'm going to get the scoop before everybody else and do this. That's always just been anything but Lois has always been her character.
But this is where the discrepancy comes for me, right?
Sure.
I understand doing all of this for a story.
Mm-hmm.
But she's not even like the motivation behind it isn't the story is, I just got to get him in jail. I'm like, ma'am, that's not your job. You're not a judge. You're not a police officer. You're not a detective. You are a journalist.
So, and you say all that removing the story, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like, where's the story? But anyway, let's get back to, unfortunately, Chrissy and her love life with Kyle.
I love all of this. One of the things, if you say, what am I going to do about reviewing this show with you guys, is just seize despair or disdain for these two. These two just take the floor, see the superior.
They are honestly, I don't even know. I have to rank like the most unlikable, despicable characters in the show. It's going to be, in no particular order, Kyle, Chrissy, Jordan, Sarah, maybe Lex. Lex ain't nowhere near the top of the list. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Lex, how dare you? Lex is fantastic. Matter of fact, if I could throw out here, if you say here, say, how did you feel about this episode? Not enough Lex. So I was very upset with what you said.
Well,
I put him on there out of obligation because he's the villain. He has to be on the most.
That's a terrible reason, see the superior, but I digress.
But Chrissy is at the diner because everything happens at the diner with Kyle and her mom.
listen,
and they're discussing the wedding.
You know what?
What?
Her mother did a number on her, man. I feel pity for this child.
You think so?
Her mother, yeah. The level of shaming that this lady does is crazy, bro. This girl got to be traumatized. Like, look how scared of opinions she is. Like, her mother did a number on her. Like, man, that lady is mean.
Mama got to stand up for her because she ain't standing up for herself. She not saying nothing for herself. she's Miss Journalist, but she don't, I guess she writes her feelings. She don't say her feelings. So it's like, ma'am, I don't know. I don't like, I said it a million times, I don't like crazy, but let's get into some of these comments here. Where did we leave
I mean,
off?
she is.
We started. We ended it with that one.
All right. Need to review. Thanks for being here. Dare D talking about Daredevil show. Mike Knox. So in LOL. Let's see here. Bill. Hi, Bill. Thanks for being here. Only for the reason that it is the last season. We all know Supes doesn't have that kind of weakness unless there's something in the comics. I don't know. Okay, you're talking about Clark Scar that's like, not going away. Let's see here.
I think that speaks to like people that have heart surgery because it's very much like one of those shows. Like they gave him the old man treatment, heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
And I think you're saying some things. I know. I feel like in the beginning of the episode, he even mentioned something. So Superman is not used to being. I feel like this was something that humanized Superman. This episode. Right. So about the scars, because I remember in season 3. I want to say season 3 was the stuff with Lois going through chemo and all that stuff, and she was saying like, well, you don't know what this feels like. You're not a human, and all these things. And I forget like the actual dialogue. But this was an episode that kind of gave him that idea of what that feels like, because Superman. And before we started the show, I was talking about something about Death Battle. I hope you check that out. But also too, he has no limits. And this episode, or this particular episode, I want to say, they're showing like, hey, there's limits here, because like, hey, you can't do all these things. Like the thing where you was talking about him and Jonathan being in Antarctica, and they're doing Mark. I want to say it was Mark 5 that they were going. I forget the exact thing, but nonetheless, he had to stop because he was like, his heart was going boom, 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 and he's not even accustomed to any of that. So
yeah, he actually passed out in this scene. Yeah. Like he was trying to, be the dad and kind of show off a little bit to his, young son who's just kind of getting in the game, and he clocked out. Like it was like, bruh, you got to slow down.
And this is kind of a callback to, I want to say season 1 with him and Jordan, because he blew Jordan out the water, and he was like, "Oh, I can do this with my other son." And I think that happens also too when you get older. The father, look, I have 2 nephews, and I just think I can still do these things, and yet I'm like, "Oh, I'm becoming the old guy." So I can go like, this is what now he's becoming the old guy, and Superman stuff. Like, how often do we hear anything about Superman becoming the old guy? So
it happens to us all.
You never have. That's something. That's why I found this interesting. I don't think there's ever been. I don't know. Maybe in the comics, but I don't think there's ever been any depiction of Superman.
And if anyone has anything about the comics, please put it out here so we can know and throw it out here in the comments.
Yeah, let us know if any of this happened in the comics. I do know Jordan and Jonathan exist in the comics, or at least one of them do.
I think it's Jonathan, because I don't think there's a Jordan, but I think Jonathan does.
Okay, cool. So earlier, again, when we're in the Smallville Gazette, whatever it's called, right? You see that Chrissy, the Justice of the Peace, right? It got flooded. Like they can no longer have the wedding there, and Chrissy's just like, oh yeah, okay, I guess that's no problem, right? But then, nosy Lois want to insert herself, talk about, oh man, you still gotta have a wedding. Like your mom's coming. Let me let me offer the barn. You can come get married at the barn, at my barn, at my husband's barn.
Hey, some barn weddings are nice. I've been to.
Yeah, give you a little plantation wedding.
Yes, that's a lot of space.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
Some chairs. Listen. That's a good
shout out to the chat. We had 27 of you guys. Thanks for being here.
I love that Vic was down for like a barn wedding is dope. Like
you know what? I was exposed to it because I came from the city and I made a mistake of wearing a suit, right? And I was the only one that wore a suit. Mad people showed up in overalls and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was crazy. Like, and people showed up in tractors. Like this was real small town America. You know
okay.
And this showed that in that. Trust me, this hit a demographic heavy. There's a lot of people that have these type of weddings.
Yeah, they showed us a little bit of the wedding. They didn't feel put out at all. Lois comes home. She tells Clark after Jonathan had to tell her, like, hey, Dad, having some issue with his heart. He passed out. They had a discussion about that. Clark kind of glossed over it a little bit, letting know it's going to be an adjustment, but he feels fine. And that's when she told them that, hey, we're hosting a wedding. And not only a wedding, I think it was like the next day or something. It was literally like, we're hosting a wedding tomorrow, guys. Get the barn ready.
Yeah.
But everybody's super powered except for her. So they hurried up and whipped everything together, took the stuff out of storage and put it together. And it actually did look really good. I can't even hold anything against them. It looks beautiful. But we also see that in this scene, actually before this, Chrissy asks Lois to be her maid of honor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when she did this, I thought it was cute. Okay, they work together. This is her boss. They actually have a friendship outside of work. It makes sense, right? But in the scene when Clark is showing Kyle the design, right, the decor for the wedding, Kyle asks Clark to be his best man, and I'm thinking this don't make no damn sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
First of all, they both grew up in Smallville, and they weren't best friends in high school or anything like that. So they both have their own group of friends that live in Smallville, right? Not only that, Kyle is a firefighter. He got a whole group of men that he shack up with, that he's supposed to be BFF with, that none of them can be his best man. He got to ask Clark Kent, who he don't even mess with like that until after he knew he was Superman, to be his best man. It's all giving weird to me. I don't know.
Notice how he's the shame of the town.
Yeah, because he got with Chrissy like 2 seconds after he divorced Lana.
Exactly. He's the shame of the town. Nobody want to fuck with him. So that makes perfect sense that he's asking the guy who's giving him his house to freaking be his best man. Come on. He's buttering him up. He's buttering Superman up because Superman is doing a great gesture because he ain't got nobody else. I mean, how many people in Smallville?
I don't know the number. But I think Vic is saying some great things here. I'm going to be quite honest with you.
What?
If you can have someone as your best man, even though everyone else is not going to know it, but you know it, how dope is it that Superman is your best man?
But that's so social climber. He's coming across as and
you know what? That's totally fair. I don't know what his relationship is with the other people in the fire department. I don't know that. But for him to go, and also too, some Vic pointed out, like, hey, we're using your house for this wedding venue, right? Hey, would you be honored to be my best man? Now, obviously,
that means you're already hosting. So not only do you have the duty of hosting, now you have the duty to actually be in the wedding. That's double duty.
First of all, he don't know Superman. He don't know Superman's heart.
And then not only are they hosting, being in the wedding party, but they're also cooking. He took Cal to the grill, showing him the food that he made. So they're catering as well. Like, what's going on? Like, this is too much.
That's small town.
You asking too much, Cal. Okay,
too much. He's asking Superman for help. He's asking Superman for help, not Batman. So let's calm it down a bit.
Batman would have paid for a caterer. Batman would have paid for somebody to show up and to like actually do the thing. Clark got to do it all himself, and that ain't right. He already got heart problems now.
But to be fair, he doesn't know about the heart problems.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past Lois to just do this, to think about something else, and have Superman do something else, and to keep Superman occupied.
Maybe, but let's get back into this chat here. We got not any Lex. I'm assuming you're talking about when we were discussing the most despicable of the show, which would be, my list. Watch the playback, you'll see my list.
I was upset about this, but go ahead.
But the Mike Knox show, this Lex is trash. Like him better as Abraham. Okay, yeah, he was dead.
Who was Abraham? I'm sorry.
Abraham is from The Walking Dead. This is what he played before, this redheaded guy, and which I was wondering, maybe that's why they made him like look like that in the flashbacks.
So he was in The Walking Dead. This actor.
Yeah, he was in The Walking Dead. Lex used to be in The Walking Dead back in the day.
Oh, dope. Okay, no, I didn't know that.
And just like in The Walking Dead, he was dating a woman like half his age. The same seems to be here in the show. But
So he has a type.
yeah, he definitely has a type. But let's go here to Bill. You're talking about the heart condition of Clark. And we got Brian here. Thanks for being here. My biggest critique of the show is that they're not going to cure Lois using Krypton tech because they won't be able to share it with others. With others was bunk. Oh, okay. So you're saying that she didn't. She's doing chemotherapy when she could do Kryptonian healing.
But then they I'm sorry because it's been a minute since I watched season 3. But didn't she like turn that down?
Yeah, she turned that down. But they gonna bring back their man from back from the dead using Krypton technology. So I guess it's mine. Everyone else loved one can die except for mine when it comes to the Krypton technology. But and also another issue I have with them hosting. Isn't Clark supposed to be laying low? Like the whole city of Smallville about to find out that he back alive.
But you know, I'm glad that you mentioned that. But I don't think they ever revealed that Clark was dead. They just said Superman was dead.
Yeah, but Lex knows that Clark is Superman. So if he's in the city, which we already established in the last episode, that he has literally the building right next to the Gazette, right?
Yes.
And this is a small town. People talk, so they're gonna talk about, Lois and Clark, they had such a beautiful wedding for Chrissy, and he gonna be like, hold on, Clark's alive? You say? And like, why would he host and put himself out there? I thought he was supposed to be like incognito, like no one's supposed to know Superman's back, and no one's supposed to know Clark is back. But that seems weird to me. But yeah, anyway, that's what I thought about it. But when we get to the next couple scenes, we got our super bomber, Jeffrey Dahmer of the show.
He's about to blow something up, man. Like this kid is dangerous.
This man is a villain. I'm telling you, he's playing back the recording from last episode where Lois picks to save Jonathan over Jordan. And it's like, he can't let it go. And honestly, this part, I don't blame him, because to hear that your parent chose to save your sibling over you, it would be a blow, right? It would be a blow. But like Lois said, you got powers, my guy. You got powers. At the time, Jonathan didn't. He needed more help than you. Get over it, right? And he hasn't gotten over it. So much so that in the whole episode, while he's listening out for Lex's goons, right? He's supposed to be listening out to them, figure out where they are. He hears them, and he tells Jonathan, hey, you go do it. I heard him, but I'm not going out there. You go out there and do it, right? He didn't accompany Clark and Jonathan when they were training, and he's not going out to figure out what's going on with the goons, the Lex goons. So I was like, this is suspicious, right?
Well, he's being soft.
He's being soft, or he's being selfish? That's the real question.
A little bit both, actually. Both. He's being so selfish. He's being so soft that he's selfish. He only cares about how he feels, and he don't care about what's happening with other people.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Straight up. So he's being both.
Jordan with the problems, Jordan with the selfishness, because he's in the barn talking to Sarah, his boo thing that he can't let go of, right?
That's enough. Look, that was from season 1. That was from season 1. She's the only one that can control him. Listen, that's next generation's Lois Lane right there.
He about to turn into her goddamn stalker. That's what it's about to be. But he's telling her that he doesn't know what to do. Like, he let everyone down. He's unsure of himself. He doesn't know what he wants to do. And her, and all her wisdom, is going to tell him, oh, well, just do what you want to do. You don't got to do what you got to do. Do what you want to do. And I'm thinking, hasn't that been the problem from he's always doing what he wants to do. He's not doing what anybody else tells him to do or what he needs to do. He's always been doing what he wants to do, which is why he got Clark's heart stepped on in the last couple episodes. So what kind of advice is this? Do what you want to do. Just do what you want to do. That makes no sense when it comes to Jordan, who always does that. I don't know what you guys think about it.
She's just
Um,
there to be on some. Oh, you can feel better.
she's saying it to the wrong one. They're both horrible people. That's
She knows how to. She knows how to be like, oh, feel better, and
I
like.
guess, child.
I mean, like, listen, hey, Jack. You ever had a girl you like all of a sudden touch your shoulder and all feel better and it fix everything?
No.
Liar. Liar. Anyway, listen, she knows that she, make him feel better just by being a little nice. She can't fix it. She can't fix the problem, but
It is, but at least give some good advice. And the advice she gives is like literally what Jordan had been doing this whole time. Selfish Jordan, always doing what he wants to do as opposed to what he needs to do and what he should do. But let's get into the chat and let's see what's going on here. Hey, Brian, my biggest critique of the show is that oh, wait, no, we read that already. Let me see. Sorry, maybe you're going to do the chemo. Right. I don't know why Lois decided to do that.
Hold on. The comment that, if I can comment that real quick, I feel like that was Lois' choice, not Superman's. Like Lois was like, no, I don't want to do that and stuff like that because she wants to do all. Like if we can't do this for everybody else, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, it did seem like Clark was more willing to do whatever it took, and Lois was more.
Right.
I can see that, but still, it was a stupid decision either way. Hey, Lance, thank you for being here. He says, but he has powers, right? That's what she was telling Jordan the whole time. Yeah, I picked him because he has powers.
Yeah, of course.
Honestly, though, like you talk about, oh, he has powers. Look, I look at it as a great way of just getting rid of all the stress in the world. So I could have cared less about the power. Once again.
Right. You picked Jonathan, your favorite son. But you didn't miss much. We were just discussing Jonathan and all of his shenanigans. But we do see in this episode that Chrissy is having some reservations, right? She feels as if things are moving too fast. She's having an anxiety attack. It seems
she's worried about being judged.
Yeah, she's worried about. She's more like worried about things moving so fast. It seems as if she doesn't want to accelerate the relationship at the same rate that Cal does.
I don't think so. I don't think so. No, because here's the thing: she actually likes this guy.
She likes him, but she says later in the episode that things are just moving too fast for her.
Of course she does. And why? Because her mother came and said that.
And no. I don't even.
Her mother came and said that. She knew that from the beginning. She knew that from the beginning, but she fucked this dude. You know what I mean? She's getting married. She's having the niggas kid. Come on, you like him. You want him. Stop playing.
Okay, Vic with the real talk. I do want to throw.
Now you want to front because your mama came talking shit.
Okay. 2013 with the shirt on, and he came in prepared for this. I do think that she realized that this was moving too fast. So there's a few things. So what is what's his name? Cal, right? Cal, he mentioned, he said over the lines of like, I miss that family vibe. I miss that kind of thing. So that's why he was moving fast. For her, she's like, yo, this is my first child. This is her first child, I want to say, right?
Yeah.
She wasn't ready for that. She just like, when he proposed, she said, yeah, not realizing, man, tomorrow we're getting married. I do think at the end of the day, it did stem that it moves too fast for her, and she wasn't ready for that. And that was a conversation that they should have had before this whole. This is not an engagement thing, right? This is literally a wedding, but like this is a conversation they should have had before that. And even some of the mother, I was telling you before we started the show, want to see the superior. I didn't like the mother at first. I was like, yo, she's mad hard on Kyle for no reason. But she's also like, I know my daughter, and like, just don't make sense.
She should be. Because first of all, this is a grown man, and in canon, in the show, they want it to be that there's such a huge age gap between the two. So much so that the mother commented about Chrissy being closer in age to his daughter than she was to him, even though she looked a little, about the same age, right? Quiet as it gets.
They really don't look the same age at all. Like this. You can tell the difference between. Look, I'm not saying this is an old woman, but you can tell that there's an age difference. It's just that they have a thing that they have in common. Because even something that the daughter was mentioning, like, "Hey, what about those gummies?" And she's like, "No, I didn't have those gummies." So, like, there's certain. I feel like there's a thing where you can see that there's a certain where they kind of link together. But this woman does not look the same age as her daughter.
Yeah, no, it's giving very much that Kyle is like maybe an elder millennial. She's a younger millennial, and then there's the daughter who's Gen Z. So it's like
That's fair.
Yeah.
But I don't get the vibe that Chrissy, she knew what she was getting when she got with this man. First of all, he just divorced Lana when they got together. So it seemed as if she said yes to the proposal in order to secure her place, because she felt that any moment he can go back to Lana. Because remember, I feel like when they first got together, he was still trying to get back with Lana a little bit. I could be wrong, but it's been a minute. So I feel like she rushed into it in order to secure this man. And now that she got him, she feel like, oh, well, maybe we don't have to move this fast. Now that I got him, I don't want to move too fast. It's like, girl, get it together.
But look, he might have wanted that for the kid.
Yeah.
He might have wanted
Sarah?
That. Yeah. No, he's talking about the unborn.
He might have wanted that for the kid.
Oh, the baby. Okay, yeah,
no,
yeah.
The girl. He might have wanted that because he got kids with Lana, so he might have wanted that. You know what I mean? So she might have.
He wanted that family life again. He's a family man, and he wanted that family life.
And that was something that was
like, how many options are there in Smallville?
Not too many. Not too many.
It's straight YOLO. Like, you know what I mean? They having a barn wedding. Like, this is YOLO town. Like, you know what I mean?
I love Vic's take on this. Like, well, it's Smallville. Like, what are you going to be with? Were you going to be with a person or a corn?
Yeah. Or a cow. Chrissy or the cow? Which one you want? Chrissy.
It is straight tic-tac-toe. The options.
Tic-tac-toe? What does that even mean?
You know what I mean? You ever play tic-tac-toe? You got to finish quick.
But shout out to the chat. There's 27 of you guys in here so far. Thanks for being here. Please like the video and please comment in the chat. Let us know what you thought of the episode. But let's get into a few of these comments here. We got Bill. Hey, what's annoying me about Jordan is that he didn't go with Jonathan for the sake facts.
Yeah,
he's sending Jonathan out on his lonesome. Jonathan, who just got his powers like last episode, sending him to the slaughter. I'm like, what's going on?
Oh, thank you. No, but like you were saying, that's soft and selfish.
Soft and selfish. So he sends Jonathan. He overhears again where Lex's people are. He sends poor Jonathan to go out. He comes into this fiery, burning spot, and it's a setup because whole time there's this man with these bazooka guns on his arms. I don't know if you guys can see that in the picture, but he came strapped up.
Oof.
He came strapped up and was about to take out poor little baby Jonathan, who just got his powers, mind you. And I'm like, okay, it makes sense for if there's something going on in the world, Superman goes out by himself. He's experienced. But if these two, non-experienced, they need to go out together. They need to have each other's back because they don't know what they're doing, because he easily takes over Jonathan. And it wasn't until Big Daddy Clark showed up and shut it down. Superman showed up himself and shut it down, that things, actually happened the way they were supposed to happen. And again, it's just the result of Jordan being selfish. Jordan just doing what he wants to do as opposed to what he needs to do, because his obligation first is to the family. And he has been refusing that this whole time. And his first obligation has been to self. And that's just, I can't stand him for that.
Mm-hmm.
But to get back to what's going on with everyone else, we see that Jordan has decided to completely give up superheroing and gave his grandfather's goggles and suit to Jonathan. So he's no longer going to be using his powers. And this makes me think, right? Because earlier in the episode, I think it was Jack that said in the comics, Jonathan isn't there, but Jordan isn't there. So Jordan seems like potentially he could be an original character. I'll have to look into that. But if he is, maybe this is the show's kind of way to write that. So Jonathan may be taking more over the superhero aspect of things with his powers, where Jordan may be attempting to live like a normal, mundane life.
That makes sense. I got a feeling that he's just going to pull out the powers when it's necessary,
and kind of live in the background, right?
Yeah, like Assassin's Creed type, you know what I mean? Like all in the shadows.
So yeah, he completely gives the uniform over to his brother. We also see that Chrissy and Kyle, they have announced that they are no longer going forward with the wedding. They said that they still love each other. They're still going to be committed to each other in a relationship. However, they are not ready to be married. And that they announced that to the whole of the people in attendance to the wedding. And I'm like, okay, it's one thing to say, okay, I'm not ready before the wedding. You want to call it off at the wedding? Wait, I thought I already bought you a gift. I already got you your damn toaster or got the air fryer that was on your goddamn list. And now you want to call off the wedding? Like, come on now. We going through with it. I'm sorry, we're here.
Everybody,
I do appreciate that they realized that they were moving too fast, or I'm sorry, what's her name? Chrissy. She realized that they were moving too fast. And they didn't just get married just to get married for the sake of the child. Like, hey, let's take our time.
Wait a minute. No. Wait a minute. They didn't get married, but they're still together.
Mm-hmm.
You see how that works? Yeah. There's still no options. There's no other options, but you're not getting married so that nobody judges you, right? You're not getting married so people don't talk shit, but you're still staying with them. You know what I mean?
And you're still having a kid.
Don't sleep with them though, because you gotta get married and you having a kid, and then you're gonna.
You know what I love about this whole episode? Vic was clear on like if I get married, I have to get married. I'm like, no, I can't. We have to get married. Why? I've seen how Vic act with this. Like we have to get completely go for it. But I do appreciate that they realized, like, hey, we're moving too fast. Something for me, like I said earlier, I thought the mother, like I said, she's mad hard for no reason. But I get it. She was like, I know my daughter. So all I'm saying is I'm on the side of like, hey, they realized that they moved too fast. Let's slow down. We'll get married at a later time. But hey, we're gonna have a party.
That makes sense. But they're literally like they do it at the wedding, right? But then it's not like they're breaking up. Hey, we're moving too fast, right? And then the mother comes and says all of this stuff, and then we're moving too fast. Is the mother gonna take her home?
No, she still got to go back to Kyle's place after this. Like, man, what the hell is the point?
Exactly.
You're still about to have this man's child. You're still pregnant.
Thank you.
You're not getting an abortion, so you're still about to have this man in your life for life. Why not just get married at this point? This man's a firefighter. He could die tomorrow, and you'll just be SOL with your baby with nothing on paper, no kind of protection, no kind of alimony or in the will, or nothing, right? So you're still going to have this man's child. You're still going to be in a relationship with him, but you're not going to marry him. That doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't.
It's dumb.
I agree.
But Chrissy's
no, and then to do that, and then to be in the dress and all of that, and everybody talking about we're not gonna.
Right. Mom done came down from Metropolis, wherever the hell she was at before, and you gonna call it off while everybody's at.
I blame the mother though. I blame the mother. She's a savage. That lady is a shaming savage. I think if that lady didn't show up, this wedding would have happened.
Well, we get to at the end of the wedding, Clark and Lois, they go back to the bedroom. They start to have a little bit of sexy time. The phone goes off, and Lois like, I'm not answering that. I'm about to smash my husband, right? But the camera pans to the phone. And keep in mind, again, no one knows that Superman is alive. The camera pans to the phone, and she's getting all these notifications from all these different news networks. Even if you notice, Gotham is reporting this news as well, that Superman is alive, right? Because again, he showed up to save the day here. So this is very dangerous for Superman. Superman who just had his heart transplant. Superman who is passing out when he exerts himself too fully. Because we still, at the end of the day, we still got Lex as a problem, and we still got big old Doomsday right around the corner, ready to be called at a moment's notice. So this is very dangerous for Clark. But what do you guys think is going to happen in the next episode? Do you think clearly Lex is going to find out? But what do you guys expect or hope for in the next episode?
We got Big Vic.
I expect Lois to rip Clark a new one, the same way she was doing in this episode, because of his heart condition. And mind you, Jordan is ganging up too. You know what I mean? Because after that, after he fainted and everything, Oh man, I expect her to pull out the big guns. I expect her to start acting like her father.
Mhm,
Honestly,
mhm, mhm,
straight up. And it's funny because she's literally doing this to her father's heart. You know what I
mhm,
mean? And so, and mind you, I got a feeling that she kind of feels her father in him, if that
mhm,
makes sense. You know
mhm.
what I mean? So like, she's definitely going to be extra like anxiety, for lack of a better phrase.
All right. What about you, Jack?
I don't think she's going to be as hard on Clock. Um, but I do see Lex Luthor, who was missing in this episode, which made this episode kind of lame for me because I wanted to see more Lex Luthor. But I think he's going to get aware of this. And so, what are we on? Episode 4, episode 5. I
Yeah,
think we got
episode
2 more.
4 of 9 or 10
Yeah,
episodes.
I think it's 9 episodes. So, well, we got another 4 episodes, I'm going to say.
Mhm,
And he's gonna hear this, and he's gonna take advantage of it. So I believe Lex Luthor will get wind of this, and also something that we didn't get a chance to talk about. We talked about the blonde lady that was um
Yeah, the henchman lady. She's the
yeah,
one who set up everything. She's the one who set up Jonathan to come out to get got by this guy with the bazooka hands.
yes, and I just wanted to throw her out there because I think she's still gonna play a part in some kind of way. I don't know what, maybe something very minor.
Hmm.
He made it clear that hey, if I turn on Lex Luthor, he's gonna kill me, and he was out here trying to kill her in this episode. So I think Lex is gonna get whiff about Superman, and I don't know how far that goes, but he's definitely gonna get whiff of that, and he's gonna be like, yo, we need to take him out. We need to get rid of him, and that was something for me. Um, I wasn't a fan of. I mean, we did the review last week. Me and you on Cedar Superior, and something I didn't like was like, oh man, now we have Superman. He's back in the riff, and usually when Superman is back in the riff of everything, I mean, game over. But I'm
Hmm.
interested in seeing what these next few episodes are going to be like with his heart condition because he's not used to being. Um, he's
Weak.
not used to having a limit.
Yeah.
I actually I'm kind of here for it because I feel like this is starting to turn into Batman Beyond, where
Oh,
where Superman just ends up accepting his fate and being a trainer,
Mm, okay.
and just training the next two Supermen because he got two
Hmm.
Supermen he can train. So like,
if I
um,
can,
Hmm.
I just want to throw out here. So there's been so many different depictions of Death of Superman. There was an animated version of it, and with that version, I forget if it was like '07. It was like late 2000s, I want to say. And I don't think he had a heart condition, but he had to train to get back to the condition that he was used to. And I remember his robot or something said like, "Oh yeah, you're like I want to say 75%, 80%, and all that stuff." So I think at the end of the day, he's going to get back to his peak condition. But I
Hmm.
do like the
mm,
idea that you were saying, one Vic, when you were talking about, hey, he will become a trainer because how often do we have anything with Superman and he's limited and he's like, hey, look, I'm going to train. And someone who reads comics is going to throw it out in front of me and be like, well, in the comics, this and this and this, and that's cool. But how often do we get that where Superman is the trainer and he's just the background player? I don't think we get that often. So I think
I
that's
don't.
mm,
For me, in the next couple episodes, I don't feel as if he's going to have Jonathan and Jordan like take over the fight just yet, right? I feel like as Jack mentioned before, I think it was last episode, there's going to be a situation where it's going to have to be all three of them fighting Doomsday. But also given that we have so many episodes left and we see how trigger
mm,
happy Lex is with Doomsday, we saw that with the dad. He's like gave him one option, or if you don't show up, Doomsday's showing up, right? So I get a feeling that they're going to have to
mhm.
spin this situation somehow in the next episode. Maybe they'll say, "Oh, well, the son is wearing his suit," or maybe that's what Lex will assume. But I don't know. I don't know how they're going to spin it. But if, as always, we'll be here to discuss it the day after the show is released. So join us next Tuesday at around the same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to discuss episode 5 of Superman and Lois. I want to say it's coming out next Tuesday. Hopefully, there's no hiatus. If there's a hiatus, we'll be back whenever the hiatus is over. But thank you so much for being here.
Fact.
Before we go, let's get into these last two comments. Hey, Bill. And also drip the hand that Superman is alive. Okay, yeah, that they kind of let that go kind of early. My last issue, Jonathan dancing it up with the little sister. I know it's supposed to be Kansas, but come on. Oh, wait, whose little sister? Hold on. Wait, who did? Oh, wait, are you talking about Sarah's little sister?
The little sister, the little, yeah.
But you know, she might, you know, they might have a little relationship. He's the one who found her when no one else was looking for her last season, right? And
Listen,
talked to her.
man. Tic-tac-toe.
Tic-tac-toe. That was a child. No, but thank you. Thank you for being here. If you like the video, please like the video and join us next week for the after show. Goodbye. Bye-bye.